So the strongest part of the story of Scripture for me were, first of all, the way that the various covenants weave their way through the entire story. I started using phrases like "there's never a plan B" with God as a way of describing the process of God making deals with His people. Even though it seems like we're forever heading in the wrong direction, God is there to further explain His plan A to us. Um, Second, I think I would develop more of the theme of obedience and disobedience. That was really powerful for me. I would even like to strengthen that a bit. Deuteronomy 28, as it works its way out from Genesis all the way through Revelation. The parts of the story of Scripture I need to work on, I think, first of all, is just being more natural. I recorded that and listened to myself several times telling a story, and I think I need to work on feeling even more natural, more at ease, like I'm just visiting with a friend around a campfire and sharing a good story. I also think it'd be good to be more compelling. This is the greatest story ever told, so I think I need to develop more of a sense of excitement or urgency in how I tell a story. I could even imagine just having a little bit of a give and take with the listeners. So asking leading questions and having them sort of interact a bit as a way of kind of bringing them into the story, bringing them into the narrative. I tried to remove sort of churchy words, but I noticed that as I spoke, they actually sort of worked their way back in. So I think I'd like to be just aware of that and more careful, make it more accessible to the culture. Um, I think I'm going to try it out on some folks that I know have little faith background, and then ask them to sort of give me some feedback about things that were confusing or not so clear. Um, I also think I like to work on being more clear in how we see Jesus in the Old Testament. So, in other words, develop a theme of what does fulfillment look like from start to finish with Christ. I'd even thought about starting out with the book of John as the way of starting the story. So in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and He was with God in the beginning, and through Him all things were made. That sort of thing. So tying that in as being the beginning of the story. Um, yeah, now that's powerful to me. That's a big great way of sort of tying in the new and the old. The story of scripture that I just told differs from the way that I would have told it before the class or at the beginning of the class. So I think mainly it would not have been nearly as cohesive as it is. I think that I would have missed a lot of the subtlety in the story. Deuteronomy 28 would have been a total miss for me. Sin, death, blessing, and curses. I think the foundational creation and fall narrative and how that winds its way through would have been weak as well.